All right. So today I am just going to show you how to build a new VM, uh, join it to an existing Active Directory system. And this VM I'm just building to, it's a storage system for Genetec, basically where you can store all your camera system and stuff like that. Building this for my job, so basically it allows us to like record and be able to save video surveillance for 32 days with a failover. So I already built the first one. The second one, it's the one I'm about to do. It takes about let's just say everything about an hour. My video is not going to be an hour, but I'll just show you a couple things and then I'll probably cut it off and come back when it's necessary. Part of this video, I'll show you how to drain computer once it's built. Once you build your new computer, which is a VM, how to join it to the network. Most of you guys have that problem. I saw a lot of people asking on YouTube how to join a computer on a network, especially when it's a VM. I'll show you when we get there. So those are the two things that I'll be working on. All right, let's go. New virtual machine. Create a new virtual machine. Just follow the steps. Select where you want it to go. Of course, mine, I want it on data store M2, depending with how you label your clusters. So here you're gonna give it a name. This I'm gonna call it GSCDCU ARC. That stands for archiver. And that, of course, my job is DCU. And then the GSC stands for Genetec. So it depends on how you, this is just a coding system of my company, and that's how we do it. And then I'm just gonna put here 02 because I'll know that it's on a data center 2 because I already built 01. And then I'm gonna put it new. I'll change that later because I have an old one somewhere here. You can see here. I want to make sure that I have the new right there. That will just make a difference to let me know which one is that I'm working on, because that one I'm actually going to delete it later. Then next, so mine, I want it right here, exactly where it is. Select it. Once you have selected, I have 20 terabyte capacity here. I have free of 17, so you could actually make sure that you know exactly your capacity, your storage, how much space you have and how much is used. So I have 14 provision and then total 20. All right, so this VM alone is going to be about, I'm going to put 3 disks in it, so you will see how I kind of like space this storage. All right, next. All right, so compatibility, a lot of things, if you do, just from my experience, if you do with ESXi 6.7 and later, sometimes my computer doesn't come up. So from my experience, to save time, always go with at least 6.5 and later. Thank me later for that. So once that's done, select it. You have more options here, you know, but the one that I've chosen a lot that works for me better, I've played around with like 3 point whatever. Of course, that's 2 past. I want to say at least 3, you know, option prior to like the most existing one, or maybe 4 sometimes, just because it works. So if it works for you, it works. All right. My experience, I usually go with 6.5 and later. And then next, what do we want to do? Select your OS system. If it's Linux, for people that are building VMs or computers for like MacBook and other Linux products, do that. For this, for the purpose of learning, I'm building a Windows 2019 server. So and then I'm going to choose here. I'm looking for, of course, 2019. So the option that I have here says Microsoft Windows Server 2016. Oh, all right. So I'm gonna pick up this option. Next. So this is where we get the fun. The computer building stuff from right here. So CPU, I tend to give it at least, I want to do the same thing that I did. So let me go back to the other computer that I built already and make sure that they match. For me to be able to see this, it looks like I have an 8 CPU here. So just to make sure for comparison purposes, it's on running. So I'm not going to change anything. I'm just going to look at it. So I have 8, 16, 250, and then I'll extend this later. So let's make sure I have the same thing on the other side. So 8. And that depends with the type of computer that you're using, you're building. 16, and then 250. This is the requirement they sent me, so I want to make sure I go with the requirement. All right. Once this is done, want to make sure it's thick provision, lazy zeroed. There's more options here, so it depends with your settings. Again, make sure you follow your settings and the requirement that they sent you. Location, I want to make sure that, again, it's exactly where I wanted it to be. I'm not going to select that. I will let it as a store with virtual machine system, which I'd already selected earlier. VM storage policy, default, definitely. This is some of the stuff you could play around with your system. So close that. The next thing I want to make sure is to add another disk, and this disk this time I'm going to give it 10 terabyte, which is equal to that gigabyte. All right, so just follow me. Again, here I want to make sure that it's actually thick provisioned. Okay, once that's done, I'm gonna build one more disk. So one is for the regular computer, which is 250 gigabyte. 10 is for the camera system, and then the next one that I'm using right now, I want to put it to 2 terabyte, which is a failover just in case if they have a computer, this computer right here, if it fails for some reason, things happen. I have at least a backup storage for that particular 10 terabyte of whatever was that doesn't work on the other side, fails over on these 2 terabyte. Until when I fix the computer, I'm still going to be able to record. So you got it right there. All right. So that's done. Once that's done, I want to make sure again. So I have that looks good. All right. Now let's go back here. Make sure the network, which will allow me to connect to my to the network system. After you will see how this works. So I am going with the server network system switch 2. That's the one I use a lot. I'm gonna select that, and then here we're gonna do contents library. Depends where you save your ISO file. I have them under here, ISO. There we go. So I never changed the naming of how when I download them. I keep them the same way. So I know for sure I'm looking for Windows Server Standard Core 2019. You can see all the details right there. So that's what I'm looking for. So it's right here. I'm gonna load that in there. So we know we get it. Once you have loaded that, always make sure you click connect. Otherwise, your computer is not going to come up because there's no files where to boot the computer from. All right. At this point, my prereqs for building a computer is done. Now I'm just gonna have the vSphere to do his job building the computer behind. All right. Last moment, make sure, you see, it's checking all the prereqs for me. I have 8 steps to make sure you select the creation, naming and folder, select computer resource, storage that I did, select compatibility. I showed you guys how to do that. Mine, I'm going with the 6.5 and then Windows 2016 and later. I just selected the OS, which is an operating system, and then I customize it the way I want, and then ready to complete. Yes. So once I'm doing that, boom. It looks like I'm gonna go back because this one I don't want it to be E100. Actually, let me just double check. That's the good thing about this. You might go back before you finish to make sure. On the disk, the VMX Net 3. All right. So just make sure you follow the requirements when they send you these things. It's very important. So you see, I have it under the VMX Net 3, which is like the most recent anyway. For information, don't build your computer with like E1000. It's not. It's like an old system that you are probably building a new computer on. So this is like the most relevant. So okay, next. And then I'm gonna finish. Now, if you check right here that it's creating a virtual machine, it's building up a computer. It takes less than 10 seconds for that. If everything goes well, we're gonna boot the computer up in a second. So I got a pass. Right here, the computer is all set to go. All right, it's telling me where the server is coming from. Now let's boot the computer up and see what's up with that. All right, just to make sure, I want to be able to read this. So this is what I am gonna do right here. As you can see, it's off. Let me go back there real quick again, just to make sure. All right, everything up is up and running except this one. So again, that's the one I'm gonna go for. And I'd like to go back to this so I can be able to see what I'm watching on. All right, so we're gonna put the computer up and see what's happening. How to do that? We're gonna do action, power on. All right, fingers crossed. If everything I did went well, the computer should be able to boot up in a minute. So here we go. Boom. Successful so far. You see the windows are coming. All right, pass. So I was able to build a new computer. Now this is just like when you're buying a new laptop, Windows computer. Now you're just building it. I mean, setting it up. So this should take me less than probably a minute. Of course, English United States, blah, 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 blah. Yes. Install Windows 2019. Yes, I'm gonna do that. And then you let it do its own thing. Anyway, back to work. So I want to make sure that I have the standard because, I want to make sure it's like just, you don't have to use PowerShell options by just like another computer. And you can read down here, it tells you the descriptions. So if you do the Windows Server 2019 standard, it says this option omits most of the Windows graphical environment managed with a command prompt of PowerShell. Versus this one, you get to use it just like a regular computer. So you can read that and then boom, let's go. So in the future, when you're doing this, do the standard server desktop experience. Okay. Make sure you read all these. Say accept license terms and conditions. Once you do that, next. Here, you gotta be careful. I want to be able to select this as custom instead of how I want it. So remember that I built 3 disks I told you about. The first one, which is regular where all the computer operating system is gonna sit. The second one, where is the video storage system is gonna sit, and then The third one, which is gonna be my 2 terabyte, where the failover in case something goes wrong with the other system on the other side. So this one, I'm gonna put it on 250 gigabyte because this is just for the computer itself. I'm not gonna deal with this two for now. So you select that, you make sure that you have the right disk. And for those of you that are just building a computer, you don't need like 2-3 disks. For me, I need 3 at least, because I've just told you the work that they're going to be doing later. If you're just building like an Active Directory, you don't need extra disks. And you could always add a disk after if you feel like you need it for something else. Just like you're buying a computer and then you need an external drive or something in, okay? All right, next. So it's gonna analyze that, and then copying Windows files, everything is downloading from Microsoft. All right, guess what's the next step? Just like you just bought a computer from Best Buy, you got it home. What's next? You open it, powers up. Now you gotta set up your passwords and everything. Make it your own, all right? That's what we're gonna do next. There it is. Administrator password. So set that password the way you like. My passwords for all my VMs, I don't want to tell you, but again, they're all identical so that I know exactly what they are, so I don't have to write them down. All right. Once you did that, you hit finish. If your password doesn't match, the computer will tell you, look at that, operating a whole brand new computer on a Windows computer and a MacBook. Today is Friday, October the 21st. It is the 21st? Yeah, all right, my wife is right here. I got my watch guard. So now we have a brand new computer. All right. Sometimes for those of you that have Windows, sometimes from my experience, this doesn't work. You see this command right here, like Control-Alt-Delete. Sometimes when you do it on your keyboard, it works. But for me, I have this little thing right here. Those are my commands. It allows me to now go back in there and one more time click in there. Now I'm able to type the password. Guess what? We got a new computer. All right, computer is built. You're gonna get this all pop up for the first time. Everything is coming up. So far we are on 25 minutes. It took me 25 minutes to build a computer. All right. So usually I don't like this message. You can read it. Try managing servers, Windows admin center, blah, 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 blah. All right. I just say don't show this again. Otherwise, every time you log in, this message is gonna come. It's annoying. Make sure you read it, you understand it, you say okay, boom. I know what it is. All right. Now, fast forward. This is gonna be a separate video for those of you that are having a problem. You build a computer, but when you click right here, network, you don't see this connecting, right? Why? I'll show you. Let's go to the second computer, cancel this, and then this computer, if I bring it up, I'm gonna log in. You see that? It's connected, but let's log in. Let's log in and see what's the difference so that you guys will understand what I'm saying. All right. So the difference here, you don't get that pop-up message anymore because I clicked it on this one that I don't want it to show up again anymore. All right, so here, if I click here, I go to open network and What's the difference? I have this. I have the status. I have the internet. Let's go back to this one. I don't have the internet thing right here. All right, icon. There's no. I'll tell you what's the problem. I have to learn this the hard way. Don't troubleshoot anything. Do not troubleshoot anything. How to fix this? Very simple. You go back. You're gonna need to install the VMware tools. That's it. You see right here, this yellow line, it tells me VMware tools is not installed on this virtual machine. Run it, mount it, and then go back right there. Watch what's gonna happen in a minute. It's gonna pop up right there in a minute. You wait for it. Once you get the notification, run it. By the way, my book shows how to do this. Boom, there it is. So here, click on the run setup 64. Of course, which is like the OS. Run it. Give it a minute. Follow the prompt next. Let me just minimize this so that you guys will see what's going on here. Say next. Do a complete. Instead of typical, complete basically shows you install all program features, select this option. This is gonna allow you to get to what we're looking for next. All right. Next, install, let it do its thing. That's it. That's it. That's how you solve the problem. If you have even your home computer and you're not able to get to your network system, did you see what there's changed right there? I got a yellow icon, as in, boom, right there. Now we have something that's called an identified network. So finish this. It's gonna ask you to restart the computer. No worries, start the computer, let it do its thing. Now at this point, once the computer comes up, I'm able to connect it to the network, give it IP and everything else. Logging in. Now check this. Simple as that. By the way, if you really like this thing, please smash that button and like my video. Yes, for more reviews. All right, let's minimize this because I'm gonna do it. Now what's the difference? Voila. There it is. Now from here you can go to internet, and then property, the details right now because I don't have anything. Go to property and then assign your IP using your here and then type in your IP addresses and stuff like that. All right. So for me, I have my protocols, the numbers of IPs that I want. I believe I know exactly what IP that's gonna be blown out. You guys don't need to know that. 10, 1 changes, so that was good to go. Okay. Now I'm gonna close this. It's gonna connect to a minute. Now, all I need to do is to disconnect this so that this one will pick up. So how do you do this? Click cancel right here, and then you're gonna disconnect. You're gonna disable it right here. Once you disable it, you're done. All right, and yes, I am gonna do that. I'm gonna disable this. I'm over here. Property. Need it. I want to compare this before I blow it off because I'm no longer gonna need it. All right, so what we're doing right now. As you can see, I'm able to, I have Google here and everything. So right click here, open network sharing, blah 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 blah, and then of course go back to this double click property IPv4. So this is what exactly I want it to be identical to this one. So once everything is looking the same way, as you can see, actually this computer hasn't connected yet, right? So I am going to go back to this one, everything, because they match. I'm going to disable this account. Once I disable this account, you see it changes right here to a red warning system that there's no even connection. So I'm done. What I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna close. You can see it says not connected. But this one, I'm gonna come up here and power it off. So action, power off. Yes. And we're gonna come up here and you will see what's gonna happen. As I monitor here, boom, it went off. Here it is. That computer is done. So now that this is done, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna come up here. I'm gonna click OK. OK. Close. And then we're gonna restart this computer one more time. You see, it's identifying already. But instead of doing that, just speed up the process, restart it, and see what's going to happen. Problem is going to be solved. Let you in. Did you see what happened? That's it. The computer recognized that. There's a new connection. We are good to go. At this point, I have solved the problem. That's how you connect your VM, your new computer, in the vSphere Center. After you assign it IP, the problem solved. That's it. All right, back to the finishing up. I told you I was going to show you how to create a new VM. Join it to AD group, and then of course the last thing that I just did, how to connect the computer to our network so that you can be able to go out like Google or anything. If I open right now any of this, I'm able to install Google or anything I want. Okay. All right guys, what I'm doing right now, I'm just making sure all my naming for the server. I'm joining basically the computer to the AD. GCDCU ARC O2 journeys to the domain. Gonna ask you to restart. Say okay. And pretty much that's it. That's how you join the computer to the AD. That's it. I'm done. The computer is ready to rock. So at this point, just a matter of installing some other software that I want to have installed at this point, which is totally a different thing. I'm tired. You can hear my voice is going down, but thank you so much for watching, and God bless. God bless.